We are at Jones C. Edwards Stadium, Huntington, West Virginia, where Saturday Virginia Tech battles the Marshall University Thundering Herd. And we welcome you to Huntington alongside Mike Burnop. I'm Bill Roth. Hokies and the Herd kick things off Saturday at noon. And Mikey, this is a big one for Tech.
It is a big one, Billy. I know you've heard that, right? So I don't think anybody thought that the Hokies right now would be 1-2. But when you look ahead, this is the last non-conference game, 8 ACC games in a row after this. If people want to get to that bowl game, get to the magic number, this is a pretty big game for the Hokies. There's no doubt in my mind that they can play, get better, and win this game. But you got to play better in all three phases, and that's what they're hoping to do this week.
Let's start with the Virginia Tech running game, which has struggled through the first three games. Tech is averaging only 84 yards per game, less than 2.5 yards per rush. That was a key focus this season for Tech and a very big point of emphasis this week in practice. What do they need to do to run the ball on this field?
Well, the offensive line's got to do a better job opening up some holes. But I think Kyron Drones showed that what he's all about. You know, the quarterback draws, getting him out in space, changing the launch point. He was effective in the running game with those 74 yards. And Bashal Tootin, I thought, had a really good game. Didn't get as many carries, but averaging over 4 yards per carry. If you can kind of get him going a little bit more, Malachi, I think they can have better success in the run game.
Tech's gone off to slow starts the last couple of weeks, falling behind Purdue 17-0 before rallying to tie it. Last week up in New Jersey, it was 21-3. Rutgers jumped out on front before the Hokies really got things going. What do you need to do to get the engine going on the first try here?
Well, you got to be more sound, play better sound football. You think about last week, Bill, it was sitting at the second play of the game, you fumble the ball. And then one play later, you haven't played a minute in the game and you're down 7. And you're down 21-3 at the half because you sit there and give up a short punt, 13-yard punt right before the half. They take it 50 yards and score, and then all of a sudden you're down 21-3. I mean, you got to play better up front, and it's a 60-minute game. You got to play better for the whole game. So you got to get that engine running and be more intense.
Marshall comes into the game 2-0 on the season, a home win over Albany, a road win last week at East Carolina. They had an open date, actually, last week, a very unusual Week 3 open date. They've got a two-headed monster in their backfield that's going to be challenging.
Well, they really do. When we think about their running back, he's really talented. Ali, he's averaging over 100 yards a game, averaging over 6 yards per carry. He's a bowling ball, 6 foot, about 210. Quarterback's a left-handed kid that can run. He's a dual-threat quarterback. It's a well-balanced offense. 65 passes, 64 runs thus far. They're going to be a handful.
Let's talk about Mike's keys to the game. Tech comes in 1-2. Give me 3 keys that'll get the Hokies a victory on this field Saturday.
Well, number one, you got to corral the herd, right? I mean, their running game is awesome. The Hokies have struggled in that department the last 2 weeks. So that's it. You got to stop the run, number one. Number two, you got to win the turnover battle, Billy. We have seen that time and time. The Hokies did it in the first game, won the game. The last two, lose the turnover battle, lose the game. And I think the third thing is you got to score at least more than 17 points. That's not enough in this league anymore. So you got to get the offense going, get those guys, the playmakers, let them get out there in space and make some plays.
We'll have a sellout crowd here at Jones C. Edwards Stadium in Huntington for tomorrow's game. It should be a terrific atmosphere. You can join us on your hometown Tech Network radio affiliate on Sirius XM Radio. And if you're coming to the game, 101.1 on the FM dial here in Huntington as the Hokies take on the Marshall Thundering Herd. We look forward to seeing you and the Hokies right here Saturday starting at 10 a.m.